Good morning. It's Sunday, February 9th, and oh my gosh, it is the latest I've been out here. 7:24. I feel it. The sun is already intense, so this might be a short one. This is A Course in Miracles reflection on lesson 30. Oh crap. 39. My holiness is my salvation. If it's not 39, it would be 38. I'm definitely not into 40s yet. And I'll make the correction in the title when I post this. My holiness is my salvation. I really liked this one. I actually did practice this yesterday when I thought of it. Not as much as it asked me to. I've been a little slack on sometimes it'll say, do 4 practice periods of 5 minutes each. And well, that didn't happen. But I did it a lot when I thought of it. Which is all good. And my holiness is my salvation. And it goes into a lot of detail. You can read it online for free. If you go to, just Google A Course in Miracles lesson 39 or 38. And it'll come right up. It's all free online. So you can see how detailed it goes and what it says it's all about. But for me, when I really thought to do it, so apparently it was useful for me in these moments when I was having negative self-talk, negative self-beliefs that weren't real, self-criticism, self-doubt, all that self stuff that keeps holding me back. So then I'd be like, wait a minute, let me just reset. My holiness is my salvation. Because we are of God, and God is holy, and it also said something about if guilt is hell, what is the opposite? What is its opposite? It said something like that. Well, guilt, I was like, well, what's the opposite of guilt? Because guilt keeps us in our own personal, private hell, right? Not like hell, like in the strict biblical sense that they've twisted what hell is, like hell's a place and eternal damnation. No, hell is like truly, I believe, the thoughts I just told you about, all those self-icky thoughts. So guilt is one of those self-limiting thoughts. Like when you feel guilt about something, I treat guilt as like these days anyway. I try not to wallow in it too much because I treat it as like a pointer, like it's telling me something. Like, what do I need to make a correction with someone? Did I hurt somebody? Or like maybe need to sit with that longer to feel into, do I even feel like I hurt somebody? Or am I just wondering if I hurt, it's usually something to do with a relational thing, like with people, for me. And so if it said like, if guilt is hell, what is its opposite? And I'm like, well, the opposite of guilt is like freedom, liberation, and then I'm like, oh duh, salvation. That's what this lesson's all about. So it's like, if guilt is hell, the opposite is salvation. So every time I had those self-limiting thoughts and beliefs, some of which were guilt, I just stopped and said, my holiness is my salvation. So I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to beat myself up anymore. I just stopped and tried to feel into that grace and that holiness, whatever that means to me. I'm still figuring that word out. It just means my divine nature is my salvation, because everything else is ego. Everything else is my ego brain trying to make me feel bad about something. And sometimes that's a pointer, like guilt or anger. It's a spark. It's like, oh, maybe there's something to be corrected here within myself or within another person. So I do pay attention to those. I'm not just going to bypass them. But I don't wallow in it anymore. Like, I don't hold on to anger. I don't hold on to guilt. I had guilt last week and I was like, it felt really, really bad. I felt like I did something, kind of like I said something that wasn't even funny or in alignment with myself. It was like, could that have caused harm? It could have. So I went to the person and apologized in a very way I've never apologized before. So it was very interesting and well received, and a hug at the end. And no harm had been done. Is that a leaf or a creature? Oh, that's a crab. Sorry, I'm gonna. Oops. Come back. Isn't that cool? It's a little crab. Comes another wave. It was neat. Yesterday I had flipped over three different stranded sand dollars that were stranded on their backs. Now I don't know much about sand dollars, so maybe they get like that all the time and they're not stranded. But they sure weren't moving or breathing with their little the slits in them, or like their little breath holes, I guess. And so I flipped them over, and then they started breathing again, and then they started moving. So there were 3 different times yesterday I did that. There were 3 different ones. And then to see a crab today. Oh, I'm seeing all this cool wildlife I don't normally see up close. So anyway, all of those emotions that feel kind of grody, I treat them as like an orientation tool. Like, it's telling me something. What did I do? What do I need to look at? And as I get more in tune with myself, my authenticity, I notice those quicker maybe, or I'm noticing them just more. Like, before I maybe felt the feelings without looking at them. I'm just like, ew, I don't want to look at that. It would turn the other way. So I wouldn't treat them as a, like a orientation tool. I don't know what else to call it. Like orienting me to what I need to look at. Or I just wanted to look away from it and distract myself and like go watch a comedy or something, make me feel better. Distractions, coping mechanisms. And now when I notice them, I'm like, oh God, here's another one. Let's look at it. Sometimes it's not exciting to look at, but I know that I don't want to run from it. It just stays there and eats me up in different ways and becomes dysfunctional for me. So that's my journey right now. And so this lesson, 38 or 39, whatever it is, holiness is my salvation, really helped me like come back from the edge. Like if I was starting to be like, oh, I feel really crappy about this, like that helped me orient. So like my holiness is my salvation helped me orient to my authenticity and how I really want to address the situation and not just wallow in it. So it helped me orient quicker. So that's how I apparently now in reflection used that lesson for yesterday. My holiness is my salvation. It was a really good one for me. Like I see how like it's a very logical tool for me. I see how it's very connected with authenticity and spirit, and yet also very like here's how it was helpful to me this week, today, yesterday. So that's all I have. Plus that little crab bonus feature. I'm going to turn around and walk back the other way and go do some laundry. I have a lot going on today. A couple craniosacral treatments with students. This afternoon into the evening, they're going to be needing a lot of my meditative space holding abilities. So I'm going to sit with my laundry and maybe do some more reading of A Course in Miracles for today's lesson. And just get into that meditative state slowly so that I can be super, super present with my clients today. And then I might have some tutoring for massage and bodywork class. I better go check to see if anyone signed up and didn't tell me. Because that can happen. So I'll check that out too. But that's my day. I hope you're having a beautiful Sunday. And beautiful week ahead. Bye.